Welcome to my channel Old Valuable Chiller. Today's detailed look at the 5-cent Jefferson nickel coin from the United States, minted in 1962. In this video, we will explore everything about the 1962 Jefferson nickel, including its design, history, composition, value, collecting tips, and interesting facts that make this coin a popular choice among numismatists and coin collectors. If you enjoy United States coins, especially the Jefferson nickel series, this will be an informative guide for you. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. On the obverse side of the 1962 nickel, Jefferson's portrait is accompanied by the words "In God We Trust," the word "liberty," and the date 1962. On the reverse, you will find Jefferson's home, Monticello, along with the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. The design remained largely the same for decades, making the 1962 Jefferson nickel an important part of this long-running coin series. The 1962 Jefferson nickel was minted at two locations: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark at the time, and Denver, which used the D-mint mark. In total, over 380 million Jefferson nickels were struck in 1962, making them relatively common in circulation. Specifically, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 97 million coins, while the Denver Mint struck over 280 million coins. Despite the high mintage, condition, and strike quality play a big role in the value and collectability of the 1962 nickel. The composition of the 1962 Jefferson nickel is 75% copper and 25% nickel, weighing 5 grams and measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter. This composition had been standard since the Jefferson nickel's introduction in 1938, with the exception of the wartime silver nickels produced between 1942 and 1945. For collectors, knowing the metallic composition is important not just for historical reasons, but also for understanding the durability and toning patterns of the coin over time. When it comes to value, most circulated 1962 Jefferson nickels are worth only their face value of 5 cents. However, uncirculated examples, especially those graded in high mint state conditions, can be worth significantly more. For example, coins with sharp details, full steps on Monticello, and minimal contact marks are highly prized. A 1962 Jefferson nickel in mint state 65 or higher can command values ranging from a few dollars to over $100 depending on quality. Proof versions from the Philadelphia Mint are also collected and can be worth more than the regular strike coins. Collectors particularly seek out full steps nickels, where the steps on Monticello are completely visible without weakness or wear. These design details can dramatically increase a coin's desirability and market price. In terms of historical context, the 1962 nickel represents the early 1960s era of American coinage, just before the big changes of the mid-1960s when silver was removed from dimes and quarters. While nickels did not undergo a metal change at that time, the Jefferson nickel remained a steady part of circulation. Many people who grew up in the 1960s remember using the 1962 nickel in daily transactions, making it a coin that carries nostalgic value in addition to its collectible interest. Collectors today often look for 1962 Jefferson nickels in original rolls, uncirculated mint sets, or proof sets. Proof sets from 1962 are especially attractive because they contain a sharp proof version of the nickel along with the other denominations from that year. The mirror-like finish of proof nickels gives them a striking appearance that makes them stand out in any collection. Errors and varieties are another area of interest. While the 1962 Jefferson nickel is not famous for many dramatic mint errors, there are examples of double dies, off-center strikes, and other production mishaps that can be valuable. For example, a 1962 nickel with strong doubling in the lettering or date can be worth considerably more than a regular strike. Collectors also seek coins with die cracks, repunched mint marks, or unusual toning patterns that developed naturally over decades of storage. The Jefferson nickel series as a whole is one of the most collected in United States coinage because it is still in circulation today and relatively affordable to start. For those who are new to numismatics, starting with coins like the 1962 Jefferson nickel is an excellent way to learn about grading, mint marks, varieties, and US mint history. For advanced collectors, high-grade examples or rare die varieties present a real challenge and an exciting pursuit. Another fascinating aspect of collecting Jefferson nickels from 1962 is studying the differences between coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver. Denver nickels typically have a stronger strike, but quality varies from coin to coin. The absence of a mint mark on Philadelphia coins often makes it a challenge for beginners to identify the origin, but learning to distinguish between mints is a key step in becoming a more knowledgeable collector. The longevity of the Jefferson nickel design also adds depth to the study of a single year like 1962. Because this design was used for decades, collectors can compare the 1962 nickel with earlier and later issues, spotting small changes in die quality, strike sharpness, and wear patterns. Some collectors even build year-by-year sets, where the 1962 nickel plays a role as part of the larger Jefferson series. From a historical perspective, coins like the 1962 nickel remind us of the everyday currency Americans used during the Kennedy administration, the Cold War era, and the cultural shifts of the early 60s. Every nickel from that time has passed through countless hands, representing commerce, work, and daily life in the United States. For numismatists, that sense of history is as valuable as the coin itself. If you are searching your pocket change today, it is still possible, though rare, to find a 1962 Jefferson nickel in circulation. Most will be heavily worn, but the thrill of spotting a coin over 60 years old still circulating makes the hunt worthwhile. Checking coin rolls from banks is another strategy collectors use to find hidden gems, including older nickels like those from 1962. In conclusion, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel coin from 1962 is an affordable, historically rich, and collectible piece of United States coinage. With its portrait of Thomas Jefferson, Monticello reverse, copper-nickel composition, and wide availability, it is a cornerstone of the Jefferson nickel series. Whether you are a beginner looking to start your collection or an experienced collector seeking high-grade examples with full steps, the 1962 Jefferson nickel offers something for everyone. Keep an eye out for proof issues, mint errors, and coins with exceptional strike quality, as these can hold significant value beyond face value. First up, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel coin from the United States, specifically the 1969 Jefferson nickel. In this video, we're going to talk about everything related to the 1969 Jefferson nickel, including its history, design, specifications, minting details, value, errors, varieties, collecting tips, and why it remains an important coin for collectors and enthusiasts. If you are interested in coin collecting, numismatics, or simply want to know more about the 1969 nickel, this video is perfect for you. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple in American coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, on the reverse. The 1969 Jefferson nickel comes from the Denver Mint, as identified by the small D mint mark located on the reverse side of the coin to the right of Monticello. In terms of composition, the 1969 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it the familiar silver-gray color that we associate with nickels. The coin weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. Like all Jefferson nickels of this era, it has a plain edge without reading. The mintage of the 1969 Jefferson nickel was high, with over 202 million coins produced by the Denver Mint. Because of this large production, most 1969 nickels are considered common in circulated condition, but collectors still look for high-grade uncirculated examples, as well as varieties and errors that can make this coin more valuable. When it comes to value, a 1969 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is usually worth just its face value of 5 cents. However, coins in higher grades, especially those that are certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can bring higher prices. Uncirculated examples in mint state condition, especially in grades MS65 or above, can be worth several dollars or more. Coins with full steps on Monticello, often referred to as full steps designations, are especially prized. The full steps designation means that the steps on the Monticello building on the reverse are fully visible and strike quality is exceptional. These coins are much scarcer and more valuable. Now let's talk about errors and varieties that exist for the 1969 Jefferson nickel. Error coins are highly collectible, and they can greatly increase the value of a coin. Some of the possible errors on the 1969 Jefferson nickel include off-center strikes, double die errors, clipped planchets, and improper metal mixes. A double die obverse or reverse can be particularly valuable, as can a strong off-center strike with the date still visible. Collectors actively search for these errors because they are much rarer than regular strikes. The condition of the coin plays a very important role in determining its value. Collectors look for coins with minimal wear, sharp details, and attractive luster. Circulated coins, those that have been used in everyday commerce, will often show wear on Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline, as well as flattening of the steps on Monticello. Uncirculated examples will retain their original mint luster and show no signs of wear. The difference in value between a circulated and an uncirculated 1969D Jefferson nickel can be significant, even though both coins are the same issue. For collectors, it is always important to store coins properly to preserve their condition. A 1969D nickel should be kept in a protective holder such as a 2x2 flip, an airtight capsule, or a coin album that is free of PVC. Avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce its value. Collectors and grading services strongly prefer coins that are original and uncleaned. The Jefferson nickel series is very popular because it has been produced continuously since 1938 and offers a wide range of collecting opportunities. Some collectors focus on building complete date and mint mark sets, while others specialize in full steps nickels or error nickels. The 1969D nickel is a part of this long history and is an essential coin for anyone putting together a complete set of Jefferson nickels. Looking at the historical context, the year 1969 was an interesting time in the United States. The country was going through major social, political, and cultural changes, and coins like the Jefferson nickel were part of everyday life. Millions of people carried these nickels in their pockets, used them in vending machines, and exchanged them in daily transactions. Today, those same coins are collected and studied by numismatists who value their history and significance. For those interested in the investment side of coin collecting, the 1969D Jefferson nickel may not be a rare coin in general, but searching for high-grade certified examples, full steps designations, and unique errors can make it a valuable addition to a collection. Over time, as more collectors pursue Jefferson nickels, demand for the scarcer varieties can increase, making them more desirable. It is also worth noting that the Jefferson nickel has undergone design changes over the years, but the 1969D still carries the original Felix Schlag design, which was used from 1938 until the early 2000s when a series of redesigns were introduced to commemorate the bicentennial of Jefferson's birth and the Lewis and Clark expedition. This makes the 1969D coin part of the classic era of Jefferson nickel design. Collectors should always examine coins carefully, whether with the naked eye or under magnification, to look for varieties, errors, and strike quality. Submitting coins to a grading service can help establish their authenticity and condition, which is especially important for rare varieties or high-grade examples. The 1969D Jefferson nickel is a coin that connects everyday history with numismatic study. While it may be common in circulation, its role in the broader series, its design, and the possibility of finding valuable examples make it an interesting subject for collectors. Whether you are new to coin collecting or an experienced numismatist, the 1969D nickel offers a chance to explore US history, minting technology, and the joy of searching for hidden treasures in coins. In conclusion, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel 1969D from the United States is a coin that carries historical significance, design beauty, and collector interest. With over 202 million minted, it is generally easy to find, but uncirculated examples, full steps varieties, and error coins can be much more valuable. Collectors who take the time to study and preserve these coins can build a meaningful collection and appreciate the rich history behind every Jefferson nickel. Next up, welcome to this detailed numismatic discussion about the 5-cent Jefferson nickel coin from the United States, minted in 1975 with the Denver mint mark, the 1975D Jefferson nickel. For collectors, coin enthusiasts, and anyone interested in United States coinage, the Jefferson nickel series remains one of the most fascinating and widely collected coins, and today we will explore the 1975D nickel in depth. This nickel, worth 5 cents, carries not only its face value but also significant historical, collectible, and sometimes investment interest. When we look at the Jefferson nickel, we see a design that has endured for decades, with the obverse showing the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. The reverse side features Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, also designed by Schlag. The 1975D Jefferson nickel continues this tradition, minted in large quantities, yet carrying its own story in American coinage. The 1975D nickel was produced at the Denver Mint, identifiable by the small D mint mark placed on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of Jefferson's portrait. Millions of these coins entered circulation, making them a common sight in pocket change during the mid-1970s. Even though they were widely used, collectors today seek them in high grades, especially uncirculated or mint state examples. Coins that have been preserved without wear, with strong luster and sharp details, are always of higher value and interest to collectors. While the average circulated 1975D nickel still holds its basic 5-cent value, higher graded examples can carry premiums. For example, coins graded MS65 or higher are attractive to collectors, and full steps designations on Monticello, meaning the steps are sharply struck and visible, bring significant value. The Jefferson nickel series, including the 1975D issue, is made of a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This metal blend has been standard for decades, giving the nickel its durability and distinctive silvery appearance. The diameter is 21.2 millimeters and the weight is 5 grams, consistent with all Jefferson nickels from that era. The edge is plain, without reading, which is typical of 5-cent coins. Even though the physical details of the coin may appear ordinary, collectors recognize that each date and mint mark combination tells a unique story about United States history and coin production. The year 1975 itself was an interesting one in American culture and history, falling right in the middle of the 1970s era, and coins like the 1975D nickel circulated widely in everyday commerce. For those building a Jefferson nickel collection, the 1975D is considered a common date, but condition is key. Collectors who focus on complete step details, sometimes called full steps nickels, will find that well-struck 1975D nickels are not always easy to locate. That challenge makes them interesting to pursue. Even though many coins were struck, weak strikes in circulation mean that gem examples are scarcer than the total mintage would suggest. When searching through coin rolls, coin jars, or inherited collections, it is always wise to examine Jefferson nickels closely. A circulated coin may be common, but an uncirculated or sharply struck piece can stand out. Grading is one of the most important factors that affect the value of a 1975D nickel. Coins range from heavily circulated examples, with worn details and flat surfaces, to mint state coins that retain their original luster. In the marketplace, collectors often look for coins certified by third-party grading companies, where designations such as MS65, MS66, or even MS67 can significantly boost desirability and value. The term full steps refers to the steps on Monticello on the reverse. If all the steps are fully visible and separated, the coin earns the full steps designation, and these are much scarcer and more valuable. The difference in price between a regular uncirculated coin and a full steps example can be dramatic, making this a key point for Jefferson nickel collectors. The 1975D Jefferson nickel does not contain silver, as wartime silver nickels were only produced between 1942 and 1945. Therefore, its intrinsic metal value is based on its copper-nickel composition. While this means it is not a precious metal coin, its numismatic value lies in its condition, rarity in higher grades, and collector demand. Many hobbyists enjoy completing Jefferson nickel date and mint mark sets, and the 1975D plays its role as one of the pieces needed for a complete run from 1938 to modern times. Collectors should also be aware of possible varieties and errors. While the 1975D nickel does not have any major famous errors widely known, sometimes striking errors, die cracks, or misaligned dies can be found. These minting mistakes can make an otherwise ordinary nickel unique and more valuable. For that reason, careful inspection of all coins, even common ones like the 1975D nickel, is always worthwhile. When storing Jefferson nickels, especially ones from 1975, it is important to protect them from wear, humidity, and handling. Placing uncirculated coins in holders, flips, or albums helps preserve their condition. Even circulated examples can benefit from careful storage if they are part of a collection. Over time, coins can tone or change color, and while natural toning can be attractive, it is best to avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning often reduces value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural, original state. The 1975D nickel also holds appeal for those who appreciate the artistry of American coin design. Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson has been an enduring design since 1938, representing American history, leadership, and architecture. Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, stands as a symbol of his legacy. Holding a 1975D Jefferson nickel means holding a small piece of that tradition, a coin that was once used in daily commerce and continues to be preserved by collectors today. In summary, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1975 with the Denver mint mark is a coin that blends history, design, and collectability. While it may seem common at first glance, its value in higher grades, its role in completing collections, and the potential for sharp strikes with full steps make it noteworthy. For coin enthusiasts, studying and appreciating coins like the 1975D nickel brings a deeper understanding of American coinage. This nickel, minted in copper-nickel alloy, measuring 21.2 mm in diameter and weighing 5 grams, continues to be a collectible piece of United States history. Whether you are a new collector searching through change or an experienced numismatist looking for high-grade certified examples, the 1975 D. Jefferson nickel offers something of interest. Now we will explore, and welcome to today's video where we will be talking in detail about the 5-cent Jefferson nickel coin from the United States, minted in the year 1987 with the Denver Mint Mark D. This coin is one of the many Jefferson nickels that have been produced for circulation, but collectors and enthusiasts are always curious about specific years, mintages, designs, values, eras, and history. The 1987 D. Jefferson nickel is a coin that holds interest both for everyday collectors and for anyone who enjoys learning about US coinage. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it has been in continuous production for decades. By 1987, the design still featured the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Felix Schlag, the designer, created this design that remained the same for many years until changes came in the early 2000s. The 1987 D. Jefferson nickel continues this tradition, with Jefferson facing left, the motto "In God We Trust," the word liberty, and the year 1987 on the front side. Just to the right of the year, you will see the Mint Mark D, which represents the Denver Mint in Colorado. On the reverse side is Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia, along with the words E pluribus unum, United States of America, Monticello, and 5 cents. The 1987 D. Jefferson nickel was minted in large numbers for circulation. The mintage exceeded hundreds of millions, which means this coin is very common in circulated condition. Because of the high production numbers, finding one of these coins in pocket change is still possible even today. Most 1987 D. Jefferson nickels you encounter will be worth their face value of 5 cents when circulated. However, uncirculated examples and coins in high mint state grades can carry extra value for collectors. When it comes to value, circulated 1987 D. Jefferson nickels typically remain at face value. In uncirculated condition, especially in grades like MS65 or MS66, the coin can be worth anywhere from $1 to several dollars depending on the market and demand. Coins graded by professional services with high mint state ratings or full steps on the Monticello design are especially desirable. Full steps refers to the sharpness of the steps on Monticello. If all the steps are fully struck and visible, collectors often pay a premium for such coins, even for a common date like 1987 D. One of the most interesting aspects for collectors is the hunt for errors and varieties. The 1987 D. Jefferson nickel may not have as many well-documented errors as other years, but it is always worth checking carefully. Possible errors can include off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, and planchette flaws. Any dramatic mint error can raise the value significantly beyond the standard price. If you come across an error coin from 1987 with the Denver Mint mark, it could be worth much more than face value, and collectors might be very interested in it. For coin roll hunters and collectors who enjoy searching through bankrolls, the 1987 D nickel can be a fun find, though not rare. Still, finding a high-grade example, an uncirculated roll, or even spotting a variety or error makes the search exciting. Coin roll hunting remains popular because you never know what you might uncover in change or in rolls straight from the bank. The Jefferson nickel in general has a long and important place in American coinage history. It has been used by millions of people every day and has become a staple of US currency. The 1987 D edition is part of this broader series that reflects both consistency and historical significance. While many collectors may focus on rarer dates, such as the early years in the 1930s and 1940s or wartime silver nickels, each year tells a story about the economy, the minting process, and circulation trends. Another point worth mentioning is the condition of these coins in circulation. Because the Jefferson nickel is made of a copper-nickel alloy, it is durable and resists wear compared to coins with softer metal content. Still, after decades in use, a 1987 D nickel often shows signs of circulation like scratches, dullness, and wear on Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello steps. Collectors always look for sharp strikes, luster, and minimal marks when selecting examples for their collections. For those new to coin collecting, starting with common dates like the 1987 D. Jefferson nickel can be a great way to learn grading, identification, and value. You can practice recognizing details, spotting mint marks, and understanding how condition impacts price. Even though the value is low for circulated coins, building a set of Jefferson nickels by year and mint mark is a rewarding hobby. When you place a 1987D next to coins from earlier decades, you get a sense of the history and evolution of American coinage. The demand for Jefferson nickels, including the 1987D, is steady because many collectors aim to complete date and mint mark sets. Others specialize in full-step nickels, while some simply enjoy collecting modern US coins. The beauty of coin collecting is that it can be tailored to personal interest, budget, and focus. The 1987D nickel, even if not rare, becomes part of that bigger journey. If you happen to have a 1987D nickel in brilliant uncirculated condition, it may be worth submitting to a professional grading service if you believe it could reach a high grade. Slabbed coins, meaning those encapsulated and graded, tend to command higher prices in the numismatic market. Collectors pay premiums for certified coins, especially when the label confirms full steps on Monticello or an exceptional grade. To sum it up, the 1987D Jefferson nickel from the United States is a common but collectible 5-cent coin. Its design links back to American history through Thomas Jefferson and his home Monticello. While most circulated examples hold face value, higher-grade uncirculated coins, full-step varieties, and error coins can carry additional value. This coin is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which continues to be a favorite among collectors. Whether you are searching through change, completing a date set, or studying US coinage history, the 1987D nickel is a piece worth knowing about.